All right, I believe we're gonna get started with the stream. So everybody, welcome. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe as usual. We're gonna get this 10,000 subscriber celebration stream started. And of course, if you're watching the stream later on after the post recording, be sure to do the same. Hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure you turn on that notification bell because of the giveaway. I will pretty much be explaining the giveaway prizes and rules and everything in this stream, but I'll also include it in the description and also pin it in the comment section below for anybody else who will join us later. So I guess let me just get my table of contents out, or the outline that I have here, and then let's see. Yeah, so welcome. So so far nobody yet, but if anything, you know, definitely welcome to everybody, or thank you for watching this video if you're watching the video later on. It's super awesome, and you know, I just want to give a quick thank you to everybody, you know, for this journey. I don't want to, you know, hype it up and make it like something epic or something amazing. You know, after all, I started YouTube back in, let's say, 2012 2013, and it was long. It wasn't easy, obviously. There were a lot of challenges, a lot of hiatuses, a lot of, like, you know, self-doubt here and there, but there were wins. There were definitely wins. So I feel like that just goes with like really anything, really. And it was cool. It was definitely cool, just being able to upload to YouTube and different ways to be creative. Obviously, you know, getting subscribers, likes, you know, sharing the video, you know, asking people to do that was always cool, and also getting the comments and feedback was always amazing, as always, you know. So I guess where do I even begin? If I wanted to just, you know, share my you know, quick casual story about the YouTube journey. So really it wasn't really anything big. I think I started more so because, you know, you grow up watching a ton of people doing Let's Play. So this was like the early I said late 2000s, but like early 2010s. So you've got people like Kabarnamani456. He was definitely an inspiration to me. And you've also got people like Nanners, Chilled Chaos, Captain Sparkles, Sky Does Minecraft. Tons of those people. There's probably a ton of them that, you know, I'm just missing. But from that era, from just normal Let's Plays to animations, to singing, just a whole bunch of cool stuff. But you know, I wanted to be able to do something like that too. I had an old HP laptop, and you know, that HP laptop was not the best computer you'd use for content creation. It was underperforming, so you know, I was limited in what kind of content I could make at the time. And you know, with that, I could only, you know, make Let's Plays of Game Boy games, Game Boy Advance games. So, you know, whoever, you know, some of you might be familiar with emulators, you know, emulators they can use for Game Boy Advance, NES, really just anything that emulates games and you can play them. And the Game Boy Advance, I think it was Visual Boy Advance, it might have been something else, but I feel like it was Visual Boy Advance. I was one of them that I used, and my very first Let's Play that I did was Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland for the Game Boy Advance. And it was cool. It was cool. I remember, you know, starting the video. I didn't have any commentary, if I remember correctly, and it was just hit the record button. But I had this weird thing where, like, maybe it was the laptop, maybe it was just the way Visual Boy Advance would work, but it would end up making the audio end up being delayed, so it wouldn't match the video's output or the playback. And so I had to get like some other program to get everything in sync, and it would process through that. You know, my videos weren't that long at that time. It was like 6 minutes, 10 minutes. And you know, with that, you know, there was always like some sort of like weird, you know, delay at times. You know, I do end up using Windows Movie Maker and to create my videos. Like, you know, I had the basic simple stuff. You know, the fade in, fade out, all that kind of stuff. Nothing complicated at this time. But I think overall, it was fun to always improve. Creating thumbnails, that was extremely new to me. So it was like super basic, nothing advanced like, you know, I do nowadays. But it was cool. No, overall, it was cool. But yeah, for anybody who is watching later on as well too, or if you're watching in the chat as well, if you're watching, skip some time back, definitely I encourage you to pretty much, add any comments, any questions, anything that you have in mind as well too. And then I can pretty much feel free to answer them in the comment section later on or in this chat as well too. Let me see. All right, so I guess we could probably do some giveaway announcements. So pretty much I will be giving away 2 games, so one retro and one modern game. This one wasn't really a hard decision when I wanted to do this, so I will pretty much put the rules. It's also in the chat as well. I will put in the description and I will put it in the comment section and make sure that it's pinned as well too. I'll probably put like maybe a promo video or something. I'll think about that. Like maybe a short would be pretty decent. Next, what else was I gonna do? Yes, announce the giveaway, the giveaway prizes. So I will be pretty much doing giving away Chrono Trigger for PC, and also for the modern game I will be giving away A Hat in Time for PC as well too. So you need to make sure that you have a Steam account as well too. And really some of the general rules are just make sure that you subscribe to the channel, make sure you like the stream and also I guess the video after end, and you want to type 10k hype. You can copy and paste it in this chat or also in the comment section as well too. So just be sure to definitely do that as well. And yeah, I think it'll be pretty cool. I've done, the last time I did a giveaway was Sonic Forces. I think it was in 2018 or 2019. It might have been 2018 or something. I think that was the time when that game came out. So I'll pretty much be doing those 2 giveaways as well. And let me actually just make sure that I can get the exact rules as well. So yeah, 10k giveaway rules. Make sure you subscribe or be subscribed as well too. Be sure to like the live stream. Type 10k hype in the chat. Type 10k hype in the chat or comment section after the stream ends. And like I mentioned, the prizes are Chrono Trigger for the PC and Steam, and also A Hat in Time. I think it was sort of cut out from Nightbot, so or hopefully for anybody who asks, make sure to address them as well too. But all that information is going to be provided for as well. All right, let's see. I guess I'll give it another like maybe 5 minutes or so. And pretty much we'll wait. Wait maybe about like 5 minutes just to see if, anybody else who shows up as well too. So we could start the Q&A session. But in the meantime, let me also check the stream's health as well, because why not? right, so I guess I'll get started with the questions. Let me actually get my water bottle. One sec. All right. I really hope I'm not copyrighted for the music that's playing right now. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, where are they? Okay. All right, so I guess, yeah, let me get started. So first question, what inspired you to start your YouTube channel? So I think I answered a little bit of it earlier, but I think it was really, it really comes down to, you know, there were tons of Let's Players over there. Like I mentioned, there's Kobarnamani456, Sea Nanners, Captain Sparkles, We Like to Pray. They changed their name to We Like to Play. I don't know if it was like a spelling error, or they just wanted to correct something to avoid, you know, any issues. Chilled Chaos, Sky Does Minecraft. There were way too many. There were way too many that I used to. Vanos Gaming, Louis Calibre. No, there was just way too many. Right there. But I think there was that, and I was like, hey, you know what? Why don't I try to do it? You know, because initially I started YouTube because I guess I was bored, but I also wanted to be sort of like cool at school. I'm trying to remember my exact motivation, so it's like, but honestly, it was one of those reasons. Then from there, it was, at least from what I remember, it was uploading for fun, and also there was like that excitement of creating. There was that spark, and I think a lot of YouTube content creators go through that. There's that initial spark of, you know, creating content, wanting to do something different, doing it as a hobby or doing it for fun. So I think those, just doing it as a hobby, doing it for fun, and that spark is what really inspired me personally to do that as well too. Move on to the next question. All right, what was your first ever upload? My first ever upload was Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland. So I remember, you know, I had the HP laptop. It was like a family laptop that we had the Visual Boy Advance Simulator up, and I think it was just one of the games I think I was playing casually at first. Then I was like, you know what, why don't I just upload content on this? You know, it wouldn't be that bad. You know, why don't I just actually post it, see what happens, and, you know, use this YouTube channel that I have under my high school email that we created, and just put something out there. But like I said, that comes from being inspired by other people doing it too. And yeah, that was pretty much my first ever upload. All right. Ooh, jeez. Okay. I'll lag for a sec there, but I think we're okay. There we go. Okay, cool. So, who are your biggest YouTube inspirations? My biggest one had to be Kobarnamani456. I loved his intro. I like, you see like the little checker marks that I have in the background. He inspired me. He inspired me to do all of that as well too. He pretty much inspired me for the design, the thumbnails, and also the intros that I would later incorporate into the channel. So I definitely have to say he was definitely one of them as well too. He's the only one that comes to mind, really. All right, what's the next one? All right, what's the hardest about being a content creator? I think the hardest thing about being a content creator has to probably be the actual creation of the content itself, coming up with ideas, brainstorming them, and actually editing, you know, designing things, recording, all of that, you know, the stuff that, you know, a lot of content creators do behind the scenes. I think that is the hardest part. Look, oh wow, hold on. Looks like the full text didn't go through. Let me actually see if I can correct that. Hold on. Oh, it's because I cut it off. Okay, all right, it's fine. Most of the questions aren't even that long, but yeah, I definitely have to say that. And also, at least for me personally, I think one of the biggest challenges I had was just that self-confidence that I could have in myself. It wasn't easy, trust me. It definitely was not easy. there were so many times where I just didn't want to do it because I wasn't getting the feedback. I wasn't getting the responses that an audience that I felt like I deserved, especially for the effort they put in. And at that point, you know, it was like, you know, wavering between a hobby and having fun and doing it professionally into something like, hey, I feel like, you know, I should be at this level. Now, mind you, I wasn't doing, I tried doing a thing called stealth challenge runs. So that's part of the, you know, content creation, you know, issuing a challenge, something that allows me to be different, be original. Cause I kept watching so many YouTube videos and, you know, they would say, this is what you need to do to be different. Like, you know, you need to be original. You need to have something that hooks people, something that grabs people. So I'd like, you know, have 3 different challenges per game. And I would pretty much see if I could do it. Then I'd give myself like a little penalty, nothing crazy, but something, an in-game penalty. Like maybe if I couldn't do this within a certain amount of time, I couldn't use any items or abilities or something. I remember doing that a lot for the Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland. And I don't think I did that for Metroid Fusion. That one didn't have commentary. I remember that one clear, those 2 games. Also Sonic Advance 3. I don't know I forgot which game I started commentary with. It might have been Pokemon. I think it was Pokemon Sapphire, and that was fun. But yeah, I think that like that's the hardest part about content creation. Really creating the content itself, and then also just doing your best to stay positive. It's hard because a lot goes behind the scenes, and everybody wants to make it. All right, let's go next one. All right, what's the best part about being a YouTuber? I think that is more of a perspective or personal thing to everybody. I think the best part about being a YouTuber, at least to me, okay, is that I guess just that creative drive, that creative spirit to be able to want to do something. Initially, you know, I tried to go through so many different avenues, from Let's Plays to, you know, small live streams here and there years ago. That one, I wasn't really too serious about that. OST nonsense, which is where, you know, I have like an acapella of my voice to the songs as well. Like, you know, famous songs from video games. What's another one? I'm trying to think. Ooh, wow. I'm blanking out over here. What's another one? Oh yeah, drawing as well too. Designing thumbnails. I think me personally, I enjoy doing that more than I do, you know, not that I enjoy one over the other, but if I were to put it in like a category, or like, you know, if I were to put it in a priority, like which one I like top 10, I probably put that in number 1, honestly. Just the creation behind it all and the freedom to post it to YouTube and see what other people think, you know. And even if they don't say anything, I still got that content out there, what I wanted to put out there. So I'd have to say that. What's your favorite video you've ever made? My favorite video that I've ever made. My favorite video that I've ever made. I would have to say my intros, my YouTube intros. I definitely have to say that I enjoyed making that. I enjoyed making those YouTube intros. I was made so many iterations, so many different versions, along with like the Court Squadrons theme. That was like super cool to create, because, you know, I could mess with Sony Vegas. I came up with so many different ways to edit, you know, the video, but it also trained me to also use the editing software as well too. So it was pretty cool to do that. So I'd have to say, you know, all my intros and also my outros as well too. I used to do them when YouTube used to have annotations where you can pretty much click the boxes and, you know, it would lead to different places. Man, like resizing those squares, like this was like way back, OG YouTube. And then they got rid of those, so pretty much any video that has those outros are kind of useless now. So there's that. And then I remember I would put like the videos in like small squares and then like change them out every time as well, and then use like a saved preset to resize the page. And yeah, it was cool. What surprised you the most in performance? I think what surprised me the most in performance maybe designing things, editing, but I felt like I was like, oh yeah, it's a learning thing, you know. You're not too sure about creating something, you just Google it, and eventually you're able to do it. Obviously, I didn't go so crazy to the point of animating things or doing crazy editing. I did that here and there, but it was never every time, since that is like super arduous and just time consuming. So I think what surprised me was the fact that I was able to put out good edits. That genuinely surprised me. Like stuff where it was like, people actually liked, but yeah, I honestly have to say that seems like more of a general question. What's something you learned the hard way on YouTube? Ooh, what's something I learned the hard way on YouTube? What is something I learned the hard way on YouTube? I'm not too sure. I don't know. I'm not too sure how to answer that question. Well, what is something I learned the hard way on YouTube? Honestly, nothing really comes to mind the hard way on YouTube. I guess I'd have to say it's difficult. Honestly, it's difficult to even try to get like subscribers or people to watch your content. Yeah. I definitely have to say that it's really hard. And it's really demoralizing when you put effort and time into something, and there aren't many people who appreciate the time or the work that you're putting into. I get that at the end of the day, you're there for their entertainment. They don't know what goes behind the scenes. They don't know the how difficult it is just to find time to edit videos, put content out there. It's not easy. Yeah, I think I learned that the hard way. So with that, even now I'm trying to pace myself. There are even moments, even today, or even just yesterday, or just whenever, when I'm like, man, why am I trying so hard? Like I put so much content out there, yet there really isn't many people. Like I've got Axel, who's been super amazing. Guys, he's like super awesome fan and subscriber of mine. I don't know if he'll be checking out this video, but I'll definitely let him know. That I gave him a quick shout out. And many other people who have been giving me encouraging words, positive reinforcement, just to help that. Since I myself am very, very critical about myself and what I do, but I guess I don't even know if I'm even trying to shy away from it, but I'm trying to be less, I guess less, like too I don't know, there's a word or maybe expression for it, but I don't want to judge myself too hard when I create things. So I think I learned that the hard way, and it burnt me out. It definitely burnt me out, and it was not fun at all. Move on to the next question. What are your long-term goals for the channel? My long-term goals for the channel. I feel like that's easy to say, but it's hard to say too. I definitely want to keep streaming consistent as well. I want to be able to I want to grow. And it's hard to sort of answer that question, because you have to get to one step before you get to the next one. So as they say, a long journey or something, a long journey starts with one first step. So I have to actually make progress in order to even answer that question. But really, live streaming, maybe more tutorials as well too, maybe reaction videos. That's something that I could also do as well too. And yeah, honestly, that I also want to grow my Modivio business as well too. Take a look in the description if you're interested in that one as well too, where I'll pretty much do thumbnails, profile pictures, all sorts of those kind of cool stuff as well. So yeah, it's hard to say that it's more general, but it's like I still want to grow, yet it's super difficult to figure out what I can do to be different. I get that I'm a retro modern channel, but I need to I'm still just trying to discover what makes me me, you know, something like a mission statement. You know, I want to pretty much instill not only nostalgia for people, but also make things, you know, chill, nice and cool, but dominate something, dominate some part of YouTube, in a sense where people will be like, hey, yeah, I go to that guy for this type of content, you know. And right now I think that's one goal of mine. It's just, you know, trying to fine tune that and trying to be the best at what I do as well. So that's something that, you know, I want to pretty much excel at right now as well. So I guess let's move on to the next question before I start yapping for days. Next, ooh, hold on, there we go. Ooh. Do you ever watch your old videos and cringe? I actually did. Whoa, see, yeah, yes and no. The other day I was curious. After I hit 10,000 subscribers, I was like, you know what? Let me go check out my first video. It was Kirby's Nightmare in Dreamland, and I was uploaded in 2013. I took a look at it. There was no commentary, but it was just gameplay. It was super simple. But when I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, I made this in Windows Movie Maker. Oh wow, that was a long time ago. So it wasn't cringy. It was. I'd have to say definitely nostalgic. I definitely have to say it was nostalgic to see all of that. I started super simple. Now cringe on the other hand, if I watch any of my old videos with my old commentary, obviously it wasn't as let's say professional. I wouldn't call myself professional now, but it wasn't as polished. It wasn't as fine-tuned as I have myself now today. Even now, obviously, you know, when it comes to commentary, I still try and say things, whatever I see on the screen, whatever comes to mind, any story I have to share, any topic, any idea, really anything. And obviously if you're gaming and speaking, it's kind of hard to do. So that really came a practice, but you know, back then I didn't have that practice. So, you know, I try to not really watch any of my old videos or even any of my videos now, too much, simply because it's just, I don't know, man, I do cringe. So, you know, that's definitely there. Don't get me wrong. All right, let's move on to the next question. What's your favorite kind of content to make? I'd have to say definitely Let's Plays. Yeah, I'd have to say Let's Plays, simply Let's Plays. Let's Plays are pretty good. They're fun, easy to do because you can pump out episodes, but it really depends on the game. And me personally, it depends on how many people are watching. You know, it is kind of depressing if you only have like a few people watching, despite having large numbers. And yeah, I definitely have to say that. So yeah, Let's Plays. All right, what future series are you most excited for? I'd have to say Dragon Quest, honestly. Yeah, Dragon Quest is definitely one that I'm excited for. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake, and I might even do 7 reimagined, which is coming out I think next year in January or February. So those games will be pretty cool. Nothing amazing or hype about it. I'm just a Dragon Quest fan, so playing those games or that series, I'm definitely excited for it. So it'll be fun to stream that and also do content off that. I want to do more with the Dragon Quest series. I'm very hesitant because it's a super niche game or, you know, category or series in the West, and YouTube overall. So you're not going to find many people covering it as well if you compare it to other JRPGs in the West. All right, next, what's your dream collaboration? A dream collaboration. Hold on, let me drink my water bottle before I continue. Okay, hold on. My dream collaboration. It would be cool to be able to collaborate with iShowSpeed. He's definitely a big inspiration. Seeing first off that, you know, he's younger than I am, 7 years younger than I am at the time of this live stream and recording, and just seeing him do the impossible. He did his America tour like a month ago, and it was amazing. You know, just seeing him do all this, and even he's inspiring me to just stream and just show that maybe it's possible. I would love to do a collaboration. Obviously, I don't know what. I don't know if I can find something to do, something that mix retro or modern. Even I sometimes I'm unsure of what I'm even talking about, but some sort of collaboration, you know, where like maybe I would become the symbol of that. But even I know myself, I'm not really doing anything so crazy, amazing, or extra. And it would be cool. It would be nice to be able to do that with him, some sort of collaboration. So that's just there. Have you ever wanted to quit YouTube? Yeah, I definitely have. I remember I stopped doing YouTube back in 2019 because, you know, around that time I was going to college, dealing with so many different problems, so many different things, from tests, exams, expectations, being burnt out, depression, anxiety, all of that. And YouTube on top of that, where, like I mentioned earlier, you put in, you know, effort, time, and so much into, you know, the whole content creation process that, you know, it gets onto you when, you know, you don't get the feedback or audience that you're expecting, you know. Thank you recently, you know, I've been getting that from, you know, a few people, but me, my ambitions or goals are like so much more bigger than that. And, you know, I while I don't want to say I'm greedy, I want more, you know, or I feel like I should be expecting more. And I'm like, you know, well, if I'm putting out good content, then what is the problem? Then, you know, the reason why, you know, I stopped doing YouTube was because I felt like, you know, oh man, you know, maybe I'm not really cut out for this. I should probably stop. And so I gave up. I fell off in 2019 and didn't bother doing it again because I was like, there's no point. And then I had an epiphany in May and started doing it again, just because I realized, you know what, let me give it a shot. Let me just do it again. Why not? I don't want to overthink it. And, you know, I felt that excitement to be able to do it again. So I said, you know what, let me just build off of that spark that, you know, I used to have. Let me do that. It might be fun, and just give it a try. So yeah, that's pretty much the answer to that question. Oof, how do you deal with low views or bad days? Honestly, I at least if we're talking now, a good example would be for the NES Marathon Challenge. You know, it would be, this comes down to the thing when it comes to content creation. You know, I created the NES Marathon Challenge to pretty much play old NES games. So I'm going to be actually streaming some of that today. And I uploaded the snippet, or the 1 hour playthrough I did of Legend of Zelda for the NES. And that one got low views. I think it might have like 30 views right now. And then, you know, it always makes me wonder. I'm like, man, you know, like you have so many subscribers, yet why isn't anybody watching? I've got the title, I've got the tags. I'm doing something different. Now, you know, it's not anything world changing or something amazing that, you know, everybody should, like, you know, look at or check out or something, but it's still, I believe it's still good. So just to answer the question, with using that as an example, how do I deal with the low views or bad days? I simply put it out without thinking about it too much, but I always ask myself, did I put out something that was good? Or like good enough, or my best, without trying to be too critical about myself. And I ask myself, if I know that I put in my effort, if I put in the energy and the time into it myself, then there should be no problem. There should genuinely be no problem with me. At that point, it's not me, it's either the algorithm or the people who watch it when, you know, the impressions, like, you know, you'll see a ton of impressions, they see the thumbnail, they see something, and then they don't click on it. So at that point, I ask myself, did I do my best? Did I do what I was supposed to do? Yes. And if I can check that off, then I don't have to feel bad. Then it's sort of like, you know, not like moving, it's not really blame, or no one's really at fault if you look at it. Because, I mean, let me be real. I'm subscribed to multiple people, okay? Yet I don't watch any of their content all day. And I probably haven't even watched some that I'm subscribed to. I've been subscribed to for years, and I don't watch any of their content. Not because I don't like them, it's simply because there's so many choices, you know? So I usually try to understand that, you know, those low views, even though if you have a high subscriber count, or you have the perfect title, the perfect thumbnail, perfect description, all this is relative, by the way, you'll still never get it all. You'll still never get it all. But if you know that what you're putting out there is your best, it's okay. That's it. So yeah, a long-winded question, but you know. Any advice for new small creators? Any advice or small creators? Honestly, I'd say take your time and just start off with it as a hobby. Make sure to pace yourself. It's going to be hard, and also just try and ask yourself what your goals are and try to adjust yourself accordingly. With 10,000 subscribers, I mentioned in some of my previous live streams that my goal was to hit 10K before the end of the year. So, you know, I asked myself, how am I going to do that? I'm putting out stuff and I'm not really getting the feedback that I'm deserving. I'm not getting the audience, the large audience that I think I would like, or I think I deserve. And so the best place at that point is doing research. What can I do differently? I've got the thumbnails, I got the banner, I've got the profile pic, I've got the titles, descriptions, I got the links, I've got everything. So what am I missing? And at that point, you know, I was speaking to, you know, that there's this one YouTuber, and also Twitch content creator. He does OBS tutorials and, you know, guides and setups and assistance as well too. Tons of videos just showing people how to use OBS and streaming in general. And, you know, I asked him a question. He was doing a live stream, and I asked him, said, so, you know, what can I do for my channel despite, you know, having tons of subscribers, yet getting low views and just, you know, low audience retention, or CTR, you know? And he pretty much said marketing myself is the key. So that could be shorts, and putting that to different platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and really whatever else you can do. And I'd been doing that at the time. Yeah, I'm like, you know, this is good. Some of the shorts did very well. Some of them I'm surprised did very well, either because of the content or because of my humor. And so it was pretty good. So yeah, he pretty much recommended marketing. So me personally, like I said, pace yourself, but first find your goal, find what you want to do, and ask yourself, what do I need to do to be able to get this? I remember when I first started out, I wanted to get to 100 subscribers or even 1K. So, but this was back in 2013, 2014. So what I would do is that I would watch other people's videos, watch maybe the first 3-5 minutes or even 1 minute of it. And then I would comment saying, hey, I like this. If I just took away a snippet from it, from the video, and say, hey, I like what you did here. It's pretty good. You know, mind checking out my channel too? And, you know, some of them would reply, some of them wouldn't. And that's how I ended up building those subscribers. Even then, it's similar to the promotions that I'm running on YouTube right now. You are able to get the subs, you're able to get maybe the watch hours, or your watch time goes up, but you don't convert them into a loyal subscriber who knows you. It was the same thing for back then, and it's the same thing for now. So really, that's really my advice. Just pace yourself, find your goal, and make sure that, you know, wherever you're at, just you do you at the end of the day, you know. All right, what's the next one? What editing software do you use? I use Sony Vegas Pro 19 to edit my videos. I use GIMP to edit my thumbnails, and I use OBS for live streaming, and Marillus Action for recording. So I haven't recorded any Let's Plays in a while, so I haven't used Marillus Action in a while either. I might move to OBS simply because it has the filters for my voice, so maybe I don't have to do any post-processing or editing. It really just depends. It really depends on the actual content that I'm doing. So, you know, I try and bounce back and forth between it as well. What motivates you to hit upload every day? I think what motivates me is the goal and dream of making it super far, whether it be 25K, 50K, 75K, or even 100K. I think that motivation, that dream, knowing that I want to make it there and I can make it there, is truly what motivates me. That is what really motivates my my reason or yearn to hit that upload button every day. Whenever I have an idea, there's that vision. I have, you know, I usually end up having self-doubts, because like it's like, man, what if I hit 100K yet I still only get little views? Like, that's super depressing when I think about it, because like I said, you want to make sure that I know myself, I know what I'm putting out there. So I feel like one day that will be seen in a larger audience, and you know, I guess I continue to do that. That's what motivates me, and I don't want to give up again. What's one thing viewers don't know about your process? What's one thing viewers don't know about your process? I feel like I kind of explained it earlier. But really just goal setting, finding out what you want to do, and then I guess really just trying to improve every day. That's probably one thing you guys may not know. I try to improve every single time, and I try to do my utmost best to, you know, find something little to improve. Yet sometimes I wonder if it's really doing anything, or it's really, you know, having any effect, considering usually there isn't much feedback. So sometimes it's simply because YouTube is just so saturated with so many people doing the same thing, and because of that, there's so many choices between, you know, one person over the other, and also depends on how viral you are and how likable you are as well too. So I'd have to say that. Where do you see your channel at 50K or 100K subs? Honestly, I hope to God that I'm able to get like 20K views, or even like 5 to 20K views per video, constant. That's where I see myself. I also see myself with the plaque at 100K. I also see myself with a ton of people knowing who I am. I don't know if I should be showing my face, doing a face reveal anytime soon, but that's pretty much where I see myself at 50K or 100K. Yeah, definitely that. Cool. All right, I think the next section is gaming, so there we are. So I answer that in a question. Let me just take a break from my voice. All right, I guess I'll continue on. Was a nice little break. Anyways, what was your very first video game? Oh man, oof, that's hard to say. Honestly, I have no idea. I'd probably go ask my dad, but I don't think he'd remember. My very first video game, I can say, the only thing I can say is my very first console. So I just have to say the GameCube. That's the best thing I can, best way I can answer that. What's your favorite game of all time? Sonic Riders for the GameCube, 100%. Was the very first video game that I bought with my own money, or allowance, back in 4th grade. So I was a sweat at that game, so I'd have to say that one. Is there anything else that comes to mind? Anything else? Anything else? Yeah, I'm gonna say I'd have to say Sonic Riders, honestly. Yeah. What game made you fall in love with gaming? Maybe Sonic Mega Collection? Yeah, I'd have to say Sonic Mega Collection. That game was cool. That game was like super cool. I had no idea that you had to play the game a certain amount of times in order to unlock more modes. Eventually that happened, but I had a issue with my memory card on the GameCube where it would end up being corrupted, and then I'd have to format it and all my data would be gone. It was super frustrating. But I think replaying so many of those games so many times was really nice. It was actually kind of cool. It was really cool. What was your favorite console growing up? I'd have to say the Wii. The Wii. Oh no. Scratch that. The Nintendo DS. That game was my childhood. The GameCube was as well too. That was like the core, the root of it all. But really the Nintendo DS and the Game Boy Advance. But really the Nintendo DS, that game, that console, man, handheld console, it was awesome. Wow. The summer of 2012, playing so many Nintendo DS games was phenomenal. I was on some weird like streak at that time, but yeah. Next one, modern console that you like the most. Modern console that I like the most? Modern console that I like the most. Maybe modern console that I like the most. I'll just say Switch 2. I don't really have a favorite, but instead it definitely wouldn't be PlayStation 5, PS4. Nothing wrong with them, or Xbox One. Simply because I've never used those, and I don't have those, so I don't really have a reference. So yeah, we'll say the Switch 2 or the Switch. If you could erase one game from memory and replay it fresh, which one? I'd say Dragon Quest IV. First time I played that, I used to be so afraid of the enemies that I wouldn't play the game. For some reason, I don't know what was up with that. That, and there's probably a million and one games that don't come to mind, but definitely Dragon Quest IV for the Nintendo DS. What is the most rage-inducing game you've played? Ooh, most rage-inducing game I've ever played? I'd have to say Need for Speed Underground. That game, the amount of replays I had to do on that final level against the lady you met in the beginning of the game, she was way too hard. Like, I mean, she was a beauty, don't get me wrong, but her driving skills were top notch. Like, I don't know what was up with the CPU, but they were taking shortcuts, and like, geez, man, that game, man, it was fun though. It was fun. What game do I think is underrated? I can answer that and say, what game series do I think is underrated? Dragon Quest, without a doubt. I'd have to say Dragon Quest. The game series is not really focused on in the West. It is popular, but obviously in Japan it's super famous. Axel, what's up? Hey, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Oh man, you're super happy to have you here. You're super awesome, man. Thank you. Welcome to the 10,000 subscriber stream. I'm like going through a long list of like different questions that I had prepared, so I was pretty much waiting for people to show up. So far we had 0 people, but I anticipated that since, as you know, I have that issue with a large number but not many people, so I did anticipate that. So I prepared about 100 questions, and I think we're like maybe 30 plus minutes in, so yeah, congratulations, man. Super proud of you. God bless you, man. And the party's only getting started. Thank you. I wish I could go back and answer some of the questions I answered regarding YouTube. I'm sure I would definitely love to share that with you, especially as well too. But you know, whenever you feel like it, definitely feel free to do that. I don't know if it's in the chat. It'll probably show up later on. Nightbot, your rival, will probably, you know, give you the rules or tell you what to do. But if you do !10k, it might be in the chat. So where's the K? Did I hide it, or hide it, or I'll eat it all? Oh man, in fact, I didn't get any cake. I wish I actually had got some desserts or something, you know, something to snack on. That would have been like super nice as well too. But for I'm also doing a giveaway. I'm giving away Chrono Trigger for a 1 prize winner, and then a hat in time for another prize winner as well too. So if you comment !10k, I think it might be in the chat. Let me actually do this just to make it easier. Let me click OK here. There we go. Yep, yeah, Chrono Trigger. So yeah, so pretty much that in there. So this is the general rules. I have it in the description of this live stream. So if you're interested, definitely, you know, make sure to like the stream, hit type !10k hype, or you can copy and paste that exactly and put it in this chat or the video as well too. And then what else? Oh, nice, cool. Yeah, you put it in. Awesome. Thank you. And the prizes will be Chrono Trigger, 1 retro game, and then prize 2 will be a hat in time. So I'll pretty much be selecting 2 winners. I'll be using a randomizer selection to select it, and whoever wins, I also have the verification rules for the winner in the description as well too. And I'll pin all of this in the comments, so for anybody who's interested in you know, taking a look and watching it later. Oh yeah, but yeah, man, I really hope you're doing well. Didn't know you'd be streaming. Currently on vacation. Oh really? Okay, nice. That's awesome. Yeah. I think I might have streamed a bit too early. I'm not too sure. You know, because you know, when I started, like I said, I wasn't really expecting anybody to be up. I wanted to get this early, out early as possible, as well. And obviously it'll become a longer video later on. Yeah, just wanted to do that. But yeah, I hope you're enjoying your vacation, you know. And yeah, no, I definitely hope you're enjoying your vacation. Super glad to I'm glad that you're here. All right, what was the next question? No, thank you. Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, and then obviously if you have any questions for me, you know, let me know as well too. So right now we're in like our questions and answers session. I'll probably do this till about maybe 1 o'clock as well. I have like tons of questions, so I'm pretty much gonna move on to the next question. But if you have anything, feel free to, you know, shout it out in the chat as well too. What's the next one? So what game do you think is overrated? What game do I think is overrated? What game do I think is overrated? Oh, it's going well. Nice. That's good to hear. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I'm guessing I'm guessing you're probably like chilling at a beach, or maybe, you know, traveling or something. I'm guessing. What game do I think is overrated? Oh man, that's hard to say. What game do I think is overrated? I don't know. See, when I think Sonic Heroes, maybe. You know, I played Sonic Heroes. I found it cool, but I definitely wouldn't like put it in overrated, because see, overrated to me personally means that it is hyped up to the point where it's just not, it's okay, you know, but that means I have something against it, me personally. That means I have something against the game personally, and I believe that it doesn't deserve, you know, the what it needs, you know. Yeah, I don't know, it's pretty hard to think about. Yeah, like that. Yeah, and I think everybody has like that, like something that is that they some game that they find overrated. So that one is hard for me to say. Game. Now if we're talking Dragon Quest, let's see. Nah. What's a game that? What game do I think is overrated? Oh. Oof. I feel like I don't want to get hate for anybody. If anybody's checking the recording later on or in the future or whenever, I would have to say maybe Final Fantasy VII. I like Final Fantasy VII. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like a lot of the other games are kind of overlooked, even though I'm not super fans of them. But all the Mario games, Sonic games, you know what? All games are overrated. I'm being held at gunpoint by the bird that I hate. That's hilarious. Actually, when you look at it, that is true. All games are overrated to a degree. There's always a fan of, you know, some games, and we'll say one game is better than the other. So technically, you're right. All games are technically overrated. But I think it's a matter of perspective and personal experience as well, too. But in terms of marketing and in terms of love that series get, I'd have to say Final Fantasy VII, but there's nothing against it. I'm just saying how much attention it gets. Yeah, there's always that one fan. Yeah. There will always be that one fan. But definitely Final Fantasy VII. I like it. I loved Rebirth. I loved Remake. I even like the original as well too. But it kind of overshadows the other ones. But simply because around the time when it came out, it was like the first 3D Final Fantasy game, and perhaps maybe it sold a lot at that time. Do you think that fan bases can sometimes ruin a video game franchise for you? Yes, especially if there's a lot of gatekeeping, and if you don't play the game to a level of what they expect as well. It's like if I play some game and if I play some game that's like super popular, okay, and it's my first time, you know, trying out the game, and because I have my own experience playing my own personal, you know, genre and series of games, and it doesn't meet the level of what I thought it would be, or maybe I'm playing incorrectly. If I get a ton of haters, I don't think it's really happened to me personally before, but I can only see just from maybe what I think would happen. People would say, "Oh, what? You're terrible at this game. Like, why are you even playing this? You know what? You should. You know, that's what I would think, and I probably wouldn't want to play the game, simply because, you know, first, if the fan base says that I'm not doing a good job, then maybe the game is not for me, and at that point, it can ruin the game for me. But I don't have one. I remember when Undertale came out, for example, I thought it was great, but you know how horrendous that fan base is. So now when I see anything related to that game, I think of cringe. Yeah. You know, that's even, what do you say? Even though the game itself is perfectly fine. Yeah, no, the game itself is perfectly fine. I think it comes down, yeah, to the fan base kind of like being super critical about their own fan base or their own game that they're interested in. And so with that, it can cause negativity as well. It can end up giving like a negative outlook on it. Always the fan bases, man. Yeah. I remember Sonic. Growing up, Sonic was a big one. Like I used to be definitely a Sonic fanboy growing up, but it was never any like real hate. But hey, I guess you could say the same. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Look. Exactly. You just like took the words right out of my mouth. Sonic is a big one. I used to be a Sonic fanboy, but it was not to the degree of what, you know, some people do. One Piece is another one. Dragon Ball Z is another one. There's so many of them out there. And unfortunately, if you're not familiar with the fan base, I read your mind. I implanted a chip in your brain. Yes, you did. But if you're not familiar with the series, and then the first impression you get is because some fans say that, oh, Dragon Ball Z or this anime or this game stinks because of this character, or this character can solo this character, it's going to give you a bad impression of the actual series itself. And at that point, you're not going to want to check out the actual series, you know, because the fan base is like the first front-facing people that you see, you know. They'll give a bad impression. Anyways, let's move on to the next question. Let's see, which game world would you want to live in? Oh, straight away Pokemon. 100% Pokemon. Sonic still has a special place in my heart because it's my childhood, probably the first game I ever played. In fact, one of the questions in earlier in the gaming category for the question that I answered was, what was the first video game that you ever played? And I said I honestly don't remember, but I remember the first console that I got, and that was the GameCube. But I grew up playing Sonic Mega Collection, is how I got to discover Sonic. So I had tons of Sonic games. So, oh wait, no, first game was a Mario Flash game. Then cousin introduced me to Sonic, and I was like, hey, this is way cooler. Yeah. I remember growing up and playing that too. My babysitter's son had Super Mario World on there for the Game Boy Advance. Oh yeah, Sonic Mega Collection. Yes. And I was talking about Sonic Mega Collection and saying that because I had that memory card issue with my GameCube, each time would have to be formatted. So the menu, the menu music and the options menu. The options menu music is wonderful. It's super wonderful. But yeah. And you know, Super Mario World, my my babysitter's son had it, and I would pretty much play that one. And that's how I got to know Mario, but I didn't really know him to that extent. I remember playing it on my Wii's GameCube backwards compatibility thing. Yes, yeah, that one. That was super helpful too. Yeah, the Wii's backwards compatible thing where I think it separated Wii and GameCube games and memories slots as well. So it was cool. It was super cool. Yeah, Pokemon is definitely a game world that I would want to live in. But sick, man. Having your first console be a GameCube is a blessing. Yeah, it was cool. It was definitely cool. So, and I feel like whatever console you grow up with definitely shapes your childhood as well too. Favorite game soundtrack. Oof. Favorite game soundtrack. First thing that came to mind was Dragon Quest, but maybe Sonic. Honestly, it was a PS2. Originally, it was an Xbox, but when my dad connected it, it didn't work. I cried that time. Oh man, you know, one time, what happened? I think so. He switched it for a PS2, and man, it was peak. Nice. Hey, that's cool. That's awesome. Speaking about that, I remember before we got the Wii, my dad ended up getting me Spider-Man 3 for the Wii. Okay, but we didn't have the Wii, so it was like I had my GameCube, but I didn't have the Wii when it come out. So I remember I was like really big on trying to convince my dad to get the Wii, and eventually we did. And then when I got to finally play Spider-Man 3, it was okay, you know. But having a game collect dust like that for like a year and a half to maybe 2 years, it's not very fun. All right, let's move on to the next question. Turn-based RPG or action RPG, which do you prefer? Honestly, I'd say turn-based, but I like action RPG as well too. Haha, you must have been dying to play the game. Of course, yeah, definitely. Imagine like rereading the back of it, like with all the game's information so many times, and not being able to do that. Then when you play it, you're like, oh, it's all right. Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. Obviously it's nothing compared to, you know, the other Spider-Man games, or even the recent ones for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, but it was okay. It was cool. I ended up beating it. It was nothing like the movie, obviously, because, you know, they had like other characters, other stories, but it was based on the movie, but it wasn't either. So next one, yeah, but turn-based RPG, I definitely have to say turn-based RPGs. Platformers or Metroidvanias? Honestly, I'd have to say both, but Metroidvanias are cool because it's like a mix. It is a platformer too. It's just more exploring. Those movies legit made me feel like I was Peter. Yes, yeah. And I don't know if they got Tobey Maguire to actually voice him. I feel like maybe they did, but it was like super simple voice lines, you know. I remember, I think it was Spider-Man 2 for the Spider-Man 2, the pizza theme. I had no idea that song was from that game, you know. Wait, but wasn't that like some Italian song? Dude, I was so stupid. I thought movies were shot with a hidden camera, so like everything that was happening was real. Really? Oh man, I feel like I probably had some sort of like childhood moment like that too. Like, where did these guys get all these cameras and hide so well? That is true. Yeah. Like, yeah, I probably had some sort of ideas like that as well too. I feel like now when I think about it, nowadays, when I really look into it, it sort of breaks the immersion when you know that obviously there's a cameraman. There has to be, but it's like, you know, when you're younger, you're like, whoa, this is super cool. Next one, single player or multiplayer? 100% single player. Definitely single player. Multiplayer games, they're okay. Depends on the game. The last multiplayer game, actually no, that depends. This is multiplayer. It doesn't say online multiplayer. Multiplayer is fun. Definitely, I like multiplayer. It's fun when you play with people. But when I see the based on a real story movies, thought I was watching a real event right there. Oh yeah. I think I probably had something like that as well too. And then sometimes, you know, the words of the actions that they would use. You know, that was another thing as well too. Oh, multiplayer for me, since I love, let me see, hold on. There we go. I love playing with your brothers. Nice. Yeah, multiple. I was just about to say, playing with siblings, playing with other people, definitely. As well. He said, but single player when you're alone. Yeah. Definitely that. Yeah, single player, like, you know, you're first off, you're not being judged, and then second off, you know, things are more controlled. You know, like it's not random either. It's not dictated on what someone else does either. Next one. If you could own. Oh, what the? Oh yeah, if you could own any gaming collectible, what would it be? Definitely the Dragon Quest shield, Erdrick's sword, and the Sword of Roto and Shield of Roto. That one is on Amazon for like $100-$200. I need to get that. I went to Anime NYC this year and I picked up a plastic sword model of it. It was the only one there, and I'm glad I picked it up. Did not regret it. And it's super cool. But they actually have like the official one online. Yep, multiplayer's fire. Don't worry, I'll 1v1 you in Crossroads soon. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm definitely up for that, man. I'm definitely up for a challenge. Let's see, next question. Which game character do you relate to the most? Which game character do I relate to the most? Ooh. Oh. Do I relate to the most? Honestly, let me see. Be right back. I'll leave my seat here. No worries, man. Yeah, no worries. Let me see. I'd have to say maybe the protagonists from Dragon Quest. Usually they're silent, so I don't really model myself after them, but usually a silent protagonist, especially in public, just being able to take the world around me and just, you know, observe things as well too. I don't know how to describe it. Whew, all right, hold on, let me check something. All right, next question. What game would you want adopted into a movie or anime? What game would I want adopted into a movie or anime? Metroid. 1000% Metroid. Metroid, without a doubt. It has so much potential. Whether it's a movie or an anime, it can work. I don't know why it hasn't been done. That is so weird. Next one. What's the best boss fight you've experienced? Oh, the best boss fight I've experienced. The best boss fight I've experienced. Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. I'd have to say Doomsday. Yes, that final fight between Super Sonic and Eggman in the final boss of Sonic 3. I definitely have to say that one was cool. From the music to just playing, it was super simple. Yeah, that and maybe a few of the bosses in the Sonic Advance series. Yeah, I definitely have to say that. What's my favorite indie game? Stardew Valley. I think it's an indie. Let me actually check. Stardew Valley, an indie game? Ooh, my package is here. Nice. Hang on. Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley. Yeah, Stardew Valley, 100%. Definitely have to say Stardew Valley for that one. Which upcoming game are you hyped for? Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake. It's coming out on next Thursday. Gonna be streaming that. I'm thinking of maybe, I don't know, maybe I might do a face reveal, you know? Who knows? It's just really depends. Ooh, okay, alright. We're going to the next category. Let me take a short little break. Could probably install it, and let me go get it. I'll be right back. returned. All right, so now the cool thing is I ended up getting the missing piece from this blue Yeti. Oh, what the? Did I? Oh no. Yikes. Oh. I had it upside down. Not good. Oh no, it doesn't fit. Why didn't it fit? Wait, unless. Oh no, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Oh, that's so annoying. Yeah, there's no way of forcing this. Ah, oh, so annoying. Darn. All right. Yeah, it doesn't fit. Ah, that's super annoying. Unless. Do I really need this though? Let me see. Do I really need it? We could experiment. Hold on. right, let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Yeah, let me know if you can hear me or if it sounds clear. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, so man, it really sucks. So I ordered a radius mount, I can't even speak. A Blue Yeti radius shock mount, okay? And the issue is it was open box, okay? And it was missing one of the metal washers that's supposed to screw into the shock mounted, no, screw into the microphone itself, okay? And because of that, you know, I was stuck yesterday. That was the technical difficulties that I was having yesterday as well too, and a few other things as well. So I didn't come with it, so I was like, oh man, I looked everywhere around my house and I found some, but they were, you know, the holes on the metal washers were too small. And I ordered some. It finally came. I went upstairs to go get it, saying, all right, you know what, let me install this shock mount. Let's see if this works. Problem is, the metal washers I got, I thought they were gonna be big, but they're not, so it doesn't fit the little thing that came with it as well too. And now I'm like, maybe I should have just ordered some other like shock mount, which probably would have worked in perfectly fine. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I probably should have ordered something else. Yeah, it sounds like it is a headache, because now that, you know, I did spend more money getting these metal washers, so now they're, and you know, most of the time you don't really use metal washers unless you want to prevent like things from getting loose or making sure it's secure. But yeah, so unfortunately, you know, that's that, you know. What else? Let's see. So I think I'm gonna have to put this down somewhere. I don't think, I might have to return it back to Amazon, so I can get my money back. So it's like, darn, you know, but I gotta find time to do that. Maybe Saturday? No, not Saturday. Next Wednesday maybe. So I might have to do that this next Wednesday. I just gotta make sure to put everything back. So, but it really sucks. I really wanted this to work. I don't think I need a shock mount. So yeah, try returning it or asking for a replacement. I might do that. With their product support, because I mean, this is extremely wrong. So I gotta do that ASAP as well. I don't think I need a shock mount, but it was more so because why not? You gotta be firm though. There was annoying with the customer service. Yeah. I rarely return stuff to Amazon. I think the most I've ever done was maybe like clothing or shirts. I did take pics and vids and stuff. Yes. I'm definitely gonna do that as well. I just don't know if I have the I don't know if I could be wrong. I feel like it came with like some instruction manual or something like that, but you know, but it was very bare bones. Like the little screw that's supposed to go inside the Blue Yeti, it literally had tape. It was surrounded in tape and it was just stuck into the box. So they didn't really do a good job. You know, I get it's open box, so I knew what I was paying. I should have known what I was paying for. But still. Hey, is this Crash Man stage? I was like, it sounds familiar. And send them a video of you dancing so that they can be impressed. Yeah, who knows? Maybe I might do that. Yeah, I don't think I need a shock mount. I believe I'm perfectly fine. So I mean, Axel, what do you think of the audio quality though? Because but what I did order was a Blue Yeti boom arm microphone, so that the microphone isn't in my way. I had a newer microphone stand, and it was like right in front of my face or in my peripheral vision. So whenever I would stream or play a game, it was always in my face, and I didn't really like that. So I wanted something that was like over the head. You said the audio quality is pretty cool. It's pretty good. All right, good. All right, that's good then. That's good. Because, you know, I was worried, since the Blue Yeti microphone is a cardioid microphone, you have to have it facing you in front of you directly. But I have the microphone like facing me at an angle, so I was worried that it wouldn't pick up, you know, the volume as well too. You have some good bass with your voice, makes the mic sounds good. Okay, good. Because, you know, if you're too far away, or if the microphone's too far away, I had to adjust the gain. It would sound like I was super quiet or far away, or it wouldn't pick up very well. So if that is the case, then I think it's good, because then I can just have a lot of freedom just to have the screen facing me. And on the off chance that I decide to do a face reveal, I don't know. I'm still debating on that. You know, face reveal wouldn't be bad. Nothing crazy or nothing hype about that. But it's more so because, you know, having face definitely. Is there a p sound on your mic if you get too close? Yeah, I have a pop filter. So if you, let's say, I say, please pass the pie. If I get too close to it, then, you know, I'm hoping the pop filter and the microphone filter on it is doing its job. So, you know, hopefully there's that as well too. So you could probably hear that as well. Yeah. So unfortunately, I spent money on this washer. It wasn't even much. It was like $6 or $7 if I remember correctly. Filter's definitely doing its job. All right, that's good. Okay, that's pretty cool. And I have a few other filters set inside OBS to pretty much get good sound quality. I was debating whether I should get an XLR microphone. They sound amazing. I myself just don't own one. So, you know, there's that as well. But I don't really need an XLR microphone. But honestly, if you believe the audio quality is good, I trust you. Don't worry, you'll definitely get a replacement return. Now we play the waiting. Yeah, it's just a waiting game. So while I'm at it, thank God I didn't throw the box away. I'm just gonna throw everything back in the box. There it is. Yeah, I'm just gonna put everything back in the box so I don't do anything, and then hopefully I can get a return or a replacement or something, because I don't think I need one. I genuinely don't think I need one, but I just got it because I was like, oh, I'm hitting tens of thousands of subscribers, let me just get it for the sake of getting it. But realistically, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, do you really need it? Not really. Oh yeah, so yeah, I think we were gonna move on to the next question. But for streaming and interactivity, I think we'll continue for another 30 minutes, and then I'll stop, and then around maybe 2 o'clock I'll definitely do the NES marathon challenge. Well, too, continue from there. What's the next thing? What's your favorite moment from a live stream so far? My favorite moments, honestly, let me see. Favorite moment from a live stream. That's hard to say. Oh yeah, hi, I feel you. Well, honestly, you're doing the audio department. Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm doing great in the audio department. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Like, that feedback is awesome. I think that's something that I really appreciate, first from you, but really anybody else who provides feedback for any of the content I create, because it helps. It shows that, you know, people are watching, and that what I'm putting out there is, you know, doing something, which is awesome. But what's my favorite moment on my live stream so far? I would definitely have to say favorite moment from a live stream, maybe when you lost your, I wouldn't say that's my favorite moment, maybe one of those embarrassing moments. So, you know, there's also that as well too. Infamous moment, clip that, chat. I don't even know if I clipped that. I could probably like find the recording for it as well too, and definitely do that as well. Hey Ruan, what's up? Hey, welcome to the stream. I'm doing a giveaway if you're interested. Type !10K as well. It's probably somewhere up above. Yeah, exclamation 10K. It has the general rules, so if you're interested, definitely check that out as well. Then let me check this on my side there. Oh, there we go. Okay. Perfect. Man, it's a shame. No, these metal washers. I could probably return these metal washers too. It's all good. It's a Nightbot. Stop trying to get on my good side. I'm coming for you. All right, what's the next song? What's the funniest thing that's... Oh, yeah, I don't know how to answer that question. You know, like, that one, I don't know. Yeah, so far I've had a lot of crazy, like, you know, favorite moments, so it's hard to say. What's the funniest thing that's happened on stream? Funniest thing that's happened on stream? Funniest thing that happened on stream? I don't know. It depends on the game. I probably play like so many games where so many funny moments happen, but outside of that, I can't really think of anything. Oh man, what's the funniest thing that's happened on stream? I'm not too sure. It's hard to say. I feel like some of these are super general, so it's hard to really see. What game do you enjoy streaming the most? As of now, the game I enjoy streaming the most, So far, I probably have to say Hollow Knight, Silk Song. That one I definitely enjoy. I think more so because it's a Metroidvania, and just growing up playing Metroid, playing that game is definitely fun. Obviously, first off, it's a lot more difficult, and I feel like every single interaction, every single boss, every single enemy area as well too feels like its own game. So the length of it is cool. And it's fun to play because there's just discovering more places, and Team Cherry did an absolutely amazing job at doing all that and just creating that experience. Yeah, right now I definitely have to say Hollow Knight Silk Song. You prefer streaming or recording videos? I think the old me would have definitely said recording videos. Let's plays were easier than live streaming. I think that was because back then I felt nervous about live streaming, but it's one of those things where you just have to bite the bullet and just do it. I feel like streaming is easier than recording videos in the sense of I am able, first off, I'm able to also interact with my viewers, because I usually don't get that, unfortunately, with a lot of that. Yeah, streaming requires more setup. Exactly. Yeah. It's easier, the reason I say it's easier in the sense of trying to get views or attention out there. That's a personal take though, because if I have recorded videos, I'd post them, and then they wouldn't get as much views or they wouldn't get as much retention, right? But during a live stream, I'm more likely to get people to pop into the chat, and they're more likely to stay for either videos or for live streams in the future. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what I mean. If we're talking like the setup process and then just really doing it, recording videos is much easier. Definitely much easier, because first off, it's not live. There really aren't any mistakes, and I can always edit those out too. And I think really the only hard part is probably editing as well. But I try to keep it simple nowadays. If it's a let's play, by simply just having my overlay, the game, my audio mic, either an intro, an outro, and then just make a few minor adjustments, like the CTAs, like the call to actions, and then just render really from there. I want to keep it as simple as possible, without complicating things. And then if I have to complicate things, then that will be for special videos like tutorials or courses or how-to videos or reviews. I'm hoping to do reaction videos as well going forward too. So yeah, there's also that. Next question: what do you love most about your community? Honestly, recently so far, people like Axel and Ruan and many others as well too. So far, just that support and I guess attention that has been helping a lot as well. It's been super cool. So I have been really enjoying that as well, and just keeping up the energy to be positive as well, because it's not easy. And earlier when I started the Q&A, way in the beginning, I mentioned one of the questions was, what's the hardest thing about doing YouTube and content creation? And I would definitely have to say, just creating the actual content itself, and putting that out there, and trying to keep a positive mindset whenever, let's say, that retention isn't there, like there isn't that audience that's there. And then what is it? Oh man, I gotta leave again just in case I don't return. I hope you have a great rest of your day, man. Of course, yeah, definitely. I'm gonna be streaming later on some more of the NES Marathon Challenge. Definitely want to get some more of that out as well too. And congrats on 10K, you earned it. God bless you. Thank you so much, man. It was super awesome to have you on stream. Like as always, you're super cool and amazing. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it, man. Right, what's the next question? What's something viewers do that always makes you smile? Oh, I would definitely have to say, Peak. Thank you, Axel. You're the best, man. Have a good one, all right? What's something viewers do that always makes you smile? Honestly, I'd have to say leaving feedback, commenting, liking, sharing the video. Yeah, I think really that would be it. And then just talking about my videos on my channel. I think that puts a smile on my face. It keeps that energy going. If you could host a big event stream, what would it be about? What would it be about? Maybe probably do like a review of I probably do a top-down review of my channel. Honestly, a big event stream. You know what? No, maybe I'd have to say maybe a game release. If it's a really like, I want to be to the level of like hitting 100K and even going beyond. Being able to host some games release, you know, that would be amazing. You know, where maybe some company or sponsor or someone reaches out and says, "Hey, we want you to sponsor, you know, this game. We want you to create content off of it." You know, I would definitely have to say that. Let me adjust my microphone here. There we go. We're good. Yeah, I would definitely have to say that. It'd be cool. Just that hype, that energy, and I guess recognition as well too. Let's see. What is the next question? What's the most surprising question a viewer has asked you? Most surprising question a viewer has asked you. I don't know. I've had a lot of questions. Is there anything that really comes to mind? I don't know. I wouldn't say like at least recently I haven't been getting too many questions. I get questions here and there on random videos or shorts that I upload, but they're not really questions pertaining to me, if I'm being honest. So not too sure about that one. What's one thing you want to improve about your streams? I think going forward, what I want to do, you see how I'm doing these Q&A questions? I'm thinking I can generate like questions, you know, probably using like, you know, AI or ChatGPT to generate questions for, you know, the video topic that I'm gonna do is different from everyone, and having something to talk about. I want to pretty much improve my commentary and being able to speak about something and always about something to fill in that dead space and practice that. Another thing is getting rid of the ums as well too, just being active about getting rid of that as well too. So, you know, though that is definitely one thing that I want to improve about my streams, just being able to always constantly have a topic, talk about, being entertaining. I'm not doing anything world breaking or something that's super viral, honestly. It's usually very simple, you know, stream, talk about the game, add your commentary, your topic, you know, my story, being able to share something about myself, but I want to be able to improve that. How do you hype yourself up before going live? Actually do like maybe jumping jacks or keep myself positive. Usually, you know, I end up waking up, going to work, and you know, it's usually a long day at work. So it's super tiring by the time you get home, and sometimes I don't have the energy to stream or even make any content. First off, because I don't have any time, and then also, you know, I'm using that time to also do content creation. So it's like sometimes I want to take a break. I'd rather not do anything. So the best way to hype myself up is first I need, like, you know, sticking to a schedule, keeping up that habit of doing that as well too, and like, let me get rid of the ums. But sticking to that schedule, sticking to that routine, and then also just having a positive mindset, or just saying, oh man, I'm super excited for today's stream, it's going to be super cool, and then try and compartmentalize any sort of negative feeling to the best of my ability. And also maybe occasionally doing jumping jacks, maybe like 10 to 20 jumping jacks, just to keep myself physically up for the stream as well, just to hype myself up. All right, next set of questions. Let me drink my water bottle, hold on. One sec, let me check something. Oh, okay, never mind. Good, let me check you. Perfect. All right, let's continue. What's a weird hobby you have? A weird hobby that I have? Probably YouTube. Yeah, probably YouTube. If we go a little bit deeper into that, probably OST nonsense. Not too sure if you guys have seen any of my OST nonsense videos. Sometimes whenever I'm playing a song, I like to do weird noises or random sounds to it, like similar to how you're singing the song but you're not really singing it, and it could be off key, off tone. But OST nonsense, I wanted to do that but in an acapella style. And that's pretty much what I would do. Choose a game, I like the OST, make a soundtrack out of it using my voice, doing super random noises as well too. And you know, that's been, you know, super cool and fun to do. So that's probably, it's weird. It still falls in line with like the YouTube category. So what's your favorite food? My favorite food, definitely, if we're talking fast food, definitely Taco Bell. 100% without a doubt, Taco Bell. I love it. If someone, I will always say this, if someone were to ask me, what type of foods do you like? Definitely Taco Bell. If we're going for normal foods, then I'd have to say pasta or lasagna. I really love that, especially if there's tons of cheese as well. Super cool. And also pizza. Yeah, pizza is like super cool. And gyro platters too. My favorite drink? Ooh, my favorite drink. I would have to say, ooh, my favorite drink. Maybe CC Cola? Yeah, CNC Cola is definitely one. That's soda, but if we're talking juice, oh, maybe Tropicana juice. Yeah, I mess with those. Yeah, those are pretty good. Let's see, cats or dogs? I definitely want to get a dog one day. I don't know how, if I'm very serious about it. Definitely a border collie. A border collie is definitely one type of dog that I would like. I think it'll be a pretty cool type of border collie, but we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. Am I a morning person or a night owl? I'm definitely not a morning person. I'm definitely a night owl. I do try to make sure I go to sleep on time, but if I'm going to sleep, then I'll try my best to go to sleep by 2 a.m. if I have nothing to do the next day, or if I am off the next day. Because I can. I've done that multiple times, especially when I was going to school. And me being a morning person, I'm not a big fan of just waking up. I'm so tired. I'm like, ugh, you know. But usually it just comes down to like just getting yourself ready for the day and just going to the flow and motions of things, especially when it comes to getting ready for work. What's one thing you cannot live without? Ooh, what's one thing I cannot live without? Maybe music, or maybe my phone. It's really hard to say, because you know that's a question where it's like, well, you only miss something when you don't have it or when it's gone, right? So there could probably be a million and one things that I cannot live without, yet I'm not too aware of it because I simply can't not. But if we're talking on the subject of phones or music, then I'd have to say electricity. Yeah, especially when you have an outage or a blackout, and there's no power and there's no lights, it sucks. It sucks. Oh, and running water too. Yes, there's that too. There is that too. Hot water too. What's your dream travel destination? I want to go to Buckingham Palace in the UK. Is it UK? Right? London? I think so. Or Japan. Japan, definitely one of them. I definitely wouldn't mind. I think it'll be super cool just to do that as well. And yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens there. What music do you listen to the most? I'd say video game music. Recently, I've been listening to a lot of Final Fantasy, Xenoblade, a lot of Sonic Cross World Racing. I have this weird, I have a season of everything. I could probably go through my list, and then YouTube Music has this cool thing, just categorizing things into months. So it'll say these are your top replays of spring, or these are your top replays of fall. And I look back, I'm like, whoa, I was on some weird wave, you know? I was on Dragon Quest, and I was in Yakuza, then all of a sudden I'm in like, you know, Final Fantasy, and all of a sudden I'm in like Mario. It's super weird. Like, you know, I'm in like Star Wars. It's crazy. I'm weird. Can you play musical instruments? I used to play the violin when I was super young. I even went to a concert. It was super cool. What else did I do? There was a recorder, but I mean, I feel like everybody did that at some point. You know, there was a recorder in like 3rd or 4th grade. I think mine broke. I forget. It was like the simple notes. I tried playing the piano on my dad's old piano as well. I think the most I could play was like Mario's theme, Mary Had a Little Lamb. And then I try to, but I'm not too sure if I'm musically inclined. Who knows what would have happened if I continued with playing the violin, but I stopped around like 5th grade, so not too sure. Who knows what would have happened, right? What's your favorite movie of all time? 100% without a doubt, Spider-Man 2. I can watch that movie multiple times. I can watch it and it'll always feel like a new movie to me. I love that movie. I can't think of any other movie. Maybe the next movie, the next movie would probably be Time Cop. I think I was just watching it. I was probably so engrossed with the plot that I was like, wow, this movie is actually pretty cool. So I'd say Spider-Man 2, and next one will be Time Cop. Time Cop was weird though. That was weird. Yeah, no, it was weird. I don't like it wasn't anything special, but I don't know. It's the only thing I can think of that deserves a second place. What's a show you recommend everyone to watch? Mr. Robot. Definitely Mr. Robot. That show's super good. I think Your Lie in April. That one's an anime. Your Lie in April, is it? I think that's what it was called. That show was sad. Erased is another one, but definitely Mr. Robot. That one's pretty good. A show I recommend everyone to watch. There's also One Piece, but see, One Piece is pacing in the anime is not as good as the manga, so kind of weird. Do I collect anything? I actually tried to see if I can collect the Dragon Quest metal figurines back in 2023. I didn't really get that far, first off, because they're too expensive. I also have limited space, so I can't outright go collecting all of them. I'm hoping one day that once I have an excess amount of money, or just spare money, and if I feel like it and if it's worth investing into, get my own sort of case, one of those clear plastic cases where you can set up different figurines, different models and toys and all that kind of stuff, and have it on the shelf there as well too. So that would be pretty interesting to have. So yeah, no, definitely, I definitely have to say that. What's a fun fact about you most people don't know? A fun fact about me that most people don't know. I'm probably not the only one who does this, but I add new music that I like to listen to a huge playlist. And in 2021, I created a playlist, or actually 2020 actually. I used to add all my favorite music to my favorites playlists, on YouTube, and it was just one big playlist. And then I was like, you know what? Let me just create a playlist solely and specialized for adding any sort of music that I listen to. Okay, and I created it and called it BG Playlist 1, and it got filled up within months, or I think in that year, in I think September of that year. And it said the max amount of videos you could put on a YouTube video is 5,000 videos. And I was like, what? I hit 5,000 videos. That's amazing, So I think that's a fun fact most people don't know about me. I have now I'm up to 3 playlists, so I'll keep on adding it. The downside is that once I hit 5,000, I think some channels either get terminated, or maybe some videos become unavailable. Maybe because the creators stopped their channel, or they removed it, or whatever, etc. So the count goes from 5,000 to maybe 4,000 and change, or 3,000 and change. Not because of me, but simply because of those channels removing them or having their songs removed. All right, let's see. If you could learn any skill instantly, what would it be? Any skill, probably drawing hands or drawing in general. I've gotten back into drawing, so doing digital art. Drawing hands is the most difficult part, but then again, last time I drew or posted anything to DeviantArt was 10 years ago, and I was still practicing drawing hands, but at some point I just stopped. I want to get back into that again, but I also want to have fun doing it too. So definitely drawing hands is definitely a skill I wish I could instantly learn, but that feels like learning anatomy and a body as well too. But I think that comes with practice and just really, trial and error. Let's see. What's a superhero power you would want? A superhero power that I would want? I'd say maybe teleportation is definitely one. I wouldn't say mind reading. No way, no way mind reading. Yeah, it's not necessarily telling what the other person's thinking. I think that's more of a curse. Because you'll be curious. Curiosity will want you to know, hey, what can this person do? But teleportation, imagine being able to get to work instantly, or get to some place instantly, without having to like move anywhere. Definitely that. Or even be able to like create portals or gates. That would be I personally think that would be a really cool superpower. I love the music. Was that Pokemon I think was playing? Yeah, I think it was a red and blue, I think. Probably Route 1. All right, next one. What's your comfort game, movie, or song? My comfort game? Back then it was Stardew Valley. I really enjoyed playing that game. That was definitely a comfort game. I loved it back in 2016 to 2017 and 18. I loved it. It was nice to come back from school and just finishing all those college exams or paperwork and all that kind of stuff, and then sit down and just play that game. It was cool, and then just building my own world. Comfort movie? I would have to say period dramas, or not period dramas, movies, like medieval movies. That's what I meant. Yeah, medieval movies or shows. Definitely like those. Those are pretty good. And then spice it up with sci-fi here and there. Song? I already mentioned that huge playlist of songs that I have, so there's that as well too. As well, and then yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, listening to that in the background whenever I'm doing anything. Hit shuffle, sounds super nice. Let's see. All right, introvert or extrovert? I'm definitely an introvert. I'm not someone who does small talk a lot, and if I do have to, it feels like I'm playing a role, or I'm filling a role. So I usually keep to myself. I'm usually quiet. Not that I'm shy. Sometimes I usually don't know what to say, but depending on the environment, then I'll act it out. I'll pretty much act out what I think an extrovert would do or say. I think it's easier that way. So definitely an introvert. I'm not someone who's super outgoing or some outspoken person, but definitely someone who keeps to himself, but definitely friendly. Or at least I hope I'm friendly. So, what's my favorite anime or cartoon character? Favorite anime would definitely have to be favorite anime. Oof. I definitely say Detective Conan. I remember when Case Closed was a thing. The English dub of Detective Conan. I used to watch that a lot on the Funimation show, the Funimation TV channel. Back then, way back whenever we would come back from class or school Rumble was there. Those way too many. Those Tsubasa Chronicles, XXX Holic. Yeah, definitely those are a few favorites. Then you obviously got the big name ones like One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, My Hero, Full Metal Alchemist, Yu Yu Hakusho, Hunter x Hunter. There's a ton of them I can go on, but I'll leave that. Cartoon character. My favorite cartoon character? Honestly, cartoon character probably who would it be? I don't know. I'd probably say the only thing I can think of is a video game character. Sonic would definitely have to be my favorite, character. He's not a cartoon character, mind you, but definitely, hey, if we were choosing anything. What's the last game you beat off camera? Ooh, last game I beat off camera. Off camera. Oh. Ooh. I could probably open up Steam and take a look, but the last game I beat off camera and I enjoyed a lot was Final Fantasy Rebirth. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That was fun. That was super fun. That was like back in March or April, I think. Oh, I love that. I love that. It was cool. What's something you're proud of recently? Something I'm proud of recently, I think getting back to the stuff that I used to love doing. I mentioned that, I have been starting to get back into drawing, but not only that, but also getting back into YouTube. Like I mentioned, it was super hard. Just doing content creation, stopping back in 2019, going through so many different things as well too. So it was like a huge hiatus, and even I myself wasn't sure if I should return. And then recently hitting 10K, it's cool and all, but I always want to look at a bigger goal. Like even sometimes I myself, I'm not sure. I'm a retro modern gaming channel. And so while the idea for me personally is self-expression with what I create and just having fun doing it, I always try and look at what more can I do? How far can I go? And sometimes I'm not too sure myself, but definitely overall what I'm proud of is being able to do the stuff that I used to like doing before. That's YouTube, drawing, and then just really just expressing myself really, and like through those things. This is obviously real life. Real life will have its ups and downs, but just trying to find a balance with everything. And I'd also advise anybody else. One of the questions earlier was, what would I recommend to anybody doing content creation, or who's new to YouTube, or really new to any sort of platform that they want to start something up? Make sure to pace yourself. That's the important thing I'd advise. Have a goal in mind and then try and see what you can do about that goal. An example would be the 10K. I decided that, hey, I'm not getting enough reach, I'm not getting enough attention. What's the best thing I can do right now in order to cross that marker? Because my goal is to hit 10K before the year ends. Okay, if I just sat where I was doing my thing, nothing would change. Okay, as they say, doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result each time is the definition of insanity. Or I think it's the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I think that's what I was doing. But I was also experimenting here and there. But I decided promoting the videos through YouTube is definitely key for audience growth. And it has helped. It helped me cross over to 10K. Now the goal is to try and convert those subscribers, convert you guys, to come back to streams. But I have to have something to bring you guys back, as well too. Not only for content creation, not only as a hobby or something I do for fun, but just seeing if it's something that seems like that I can do long term, but also gain something from it, a return of investment from it, not just from satisfaction of creating the content, but other means as well too. That was a long-winded answer. Holy smokes. All right, let's see what are there. I think we'll probably do maybe 10 more questions and then probably end the stream off. I want to do the NES marathon challenge soon, so I have to prep up for that. But for anybody in the chat, I am doing a giveaway, so be aware of that. Take a look in the chat and also the description of the video. I will also pin a comment in the video after the stream ends, so if you want to enter that, just make sure to do 10K hype and you can pretty much enter the giveaway. I'm giving away a Chrono Trigger and also a hat in time, so for 2 separate winners. First prize winner will be Chrono Trigger. Second will be a hat in time. You got to make sure you have it's going to be on PC, so do make sure that you have Steam, so that and then the rules for winners verification will be there, and I'll announce the winner at a later date as well too. So yeah, let's do these last 10 questions. So, pineapple on pizza, yes or no? I don't mind. I've had it and it's cool. It's cool. First time I had it was cold, and when I used to work at Micro Center years ago. And it was cool. It was cool. One of my coworkers recommended it to me, but it was cold, so I didn't really have much of an opinion. It was all right, but it was cool. It was cool. I just have that core memory from trying pineapple on pizza, since I've heard it's a very controversial food choice. Next one. If you could have any animal as a pet, what would it be? Definitely a dog and a border collie, for one of those sheep dogs or those dogs you see out on the farms. They just look cool. I just like the look of them. They just look super cool and awesome, man's best friend right there. So next one, best snack while gaming. Definitely Fig Newtons and maybe juice, or maybe whatever juice or sodas available at the moment. But definitely Fig Newtons. If you're in Smash Bros, what would your final smash be? Ooh, if I was a Smash Bros, I would probably do one hit slash, or a Zensetsuken. So that ultimate smooth move from Final Fantasy. I think it was if you have the samurai class. So it's just think of a samurai doing a ton of instantaneous slashes, and doing that cool pose where they sheath their sword into their scabbard. So something like that, and then just slicing everybody and sending them flying off the stage. So yeah, definitely something like that. I think it looks cool. What's the worst game you've ever played? Ooh, the worst game I've ever played? The worst game I've ever played? I don't think I've really had a worst game, but I've had a game that I did not enjoy. Maybe Divinity Original Sin 2, probably because it wasn't what I expected. That one's more of like tabletop turn-based. So that one I was expecting more of like an action RPG, but when I saw that, I didn't see that coming. It's okay, but just that top-down view, isometric view wasn't really something I expected. So I wouldn't say it was the worst, but at least that's the only one I can recall that I didn't really enjoy. What would your gamer tag have been if it was not Stealthfang? What would it be? Honestly, I can think of maybe two. Probably Cavillus. I think in... Oh, wait. I could do a quick Google search. I think in some language, Cavillus means stealth. So, hold on. Let me check right now. I thought there was like a meaning to it. How do you say... But anyways, it would definitely either be Cavillus or Smashing Lemon Slaps. That's my backup channel. I don't even upload anything over there, but it's there just for the sake of being there, in case anything happens to this channel, which I highly doubt. But it's definitely there, because why not? If you had a statue made of you, what pose would it be? Probably... probably me in the thinking pose, or maybe giving like a double peace sign or something. Probably sounds super basic or boring, but you know, one of those two. What fictional world would you not want to live in? Oh wow. Ooh. What fictional world would I not want to live in? Probably any Dark Souls universe. Definitely not that. Maybe the Overlord universe. Would not want to live in there. Yeah, I'd have to say those two. Probably a million and one that I can probably think of. But what's your funniest childhood gaming memory? Funniest childhood gaming memory. I think mine would be where I was using my GameCube controller playing Sonic Riders, and that game had a mechanic where you'd go into some part of the stage, and then if you wanted to get more points or more air, let's put it, you would have to spin the analog stick like super fast. So I did that so many times, and then one day the left and the right wasn't working. I'm like, what's going on? Is it broken? I took it apart and I found out the analog, the little the joystick was like twisted, like it was melted because of all that spinning I was doing on it for that one stage. And it ended up getting ruined. A genuine GameCube controller, mind you. Oh, it's a shame though. It's a shame. All right, I'll probably do this one for the final one. What boss fight broke you as a kid? Definitely Need for Speed Underground 2. The final boss fight was the lady who you would meet in the beginning. She was like maybe the love interest, and you had no idea that she was. That a Need for Speed Underground 2? No, nah, Need for Speed Underground, the original, first one. She was the final boss character, or the final racer, the final driver. And the CPU, I don't know what CPU AI or programming they put in her, but she would take the crazy shortcuts to where I'd have to like cheese her by like crashing into her car to slow her down, and then just keep on going. But the CPU was on something. The amount of replays I had to do because she was about to cross the finish line and I'd restart doing it over and over again. Oh, it was, but it was fun. I beat that game. And it was amazing. It was definitely amazing. I loved it. I genuinely loved it. It was super cool. Yeah. All right, cool. So I'm gonna end today's stream. I'm probably gonna stream in the next maybe 13 minutes and put things together and get started on the NES Marathon Challenge. A part of me also feels like playing Hollow Knight. Something. Maybe I should do Hollow Knight. We could do Hollow Knight. No idea where we ended off last time. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe. Yeah, I can do Hollow Knight. Yeah, I can do Hollow Knight. But ladies and gents, if you enjoyed today's stream, thank you so much for watching. It was super awesome to have everybody here. So like I mentioned with the giveaway, the rules will be in the description. Be sure to follow it as well too. Like the video, subscribe, make sure to do 10K hype to enter the giveaway. I will announce the winners later on at later stream. So be sure to do that. It was super awesome having everybody here. I love you all. Thank you so much. So as I usually say, until next time, Stealth out.